Hello, gentle viewers. This is Vindian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 21 with the Baltimore Orioles. Right. Last season was acceptable. I distinctly recall making the playoffs, but I do not recall doing very well in them. No, I got bumped out in the first round, which is becoming an all too frequent occurrence for us, to be honest with you. What went well and what didn't go well? Danny Moreno, I don't know why I would be even remotely surprised that he did awesome, but he did. Is he on his way to his fourth MVP? I don't know. Fourth consecutive MVP. Let me not sell our friend short here. He also got a giant new contract, which I would probably be a little bit more concerned about if we probably weren't going to be ending this series in a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to deal with it for right now. Angel Castillo was not as good as he was in his rookie year, but he was still what we needed, which was a table setter, par excellence, who also played pretty decent, if not flawless, third base. Dave Johnson is clearly declining a bit, but it's not by a huge amount. And one of the things I've mentioned several times, but it does bear repeating in case you're not super familiar with baseball history and how players age. Players whose background is discipline and power tend to age better than players who are all about contact and speed. Now, it is very, very important that he's actually starting to lose some of his ability to actually play catcher. We may want to think about converting him to being a full-time DH. Because if we check his defense, it used to at one point it was exemplary, but it's really starting to decline. And you know what? It makes total sense. If we look at his statistics, he was okay, but he wasn't exceptionally great either. One of the things that Out of the Park doesn't capture now, and I hope that you start to capture in 22, is pitch framing. I have no idea if this guy is any good at pitch framing, and for those of you that aren't aware of what that means, if you watch a baseball game and you watch, say, a pitcher throw to a catcher, and you'll notice that catcher ever so slightly changes where the ball landed, so it would get called a strike. That is pitch framing. It's sort of like sanctioned cheating, if you think about it, because umpires are meant to call the ball, a strike or a ball, depending on where it crosses the plate, not where it is when it hits the catcher's glove. But that is such a tiny window. Like, we're talking a few milliseconds, right? That most human beings just can't do it. And that's why catchers can have a pretty large influence on what gets called a strike and what doesn't. This is also why the minor leagues have experimented with using, like, computers or robots to do umpiring, and maybe something that actually comes to Major League Baseball. But that's what pitch framing is, and I hope it's something that they capture next season in OOTP 22. Now, we may have an opening at DH because of Jordan Diaz. We actually opted out of his last year of his contract. We did go ahead and... watery. We did go ahead and offer him a qualifying offer, which he may or may not take. But if we talk to him about an extension, he wants a fair bit of money. And especially if I've got to switch Dave Johnson over to being a catcher to continue getting value out of him. And his contract's a lot longer. We may be doing exactly that. Tim Yeager turned in basically a carbon copy of his first year, except slightly better. Fewer home runs, but better overall production. We traded Luis Amaya last season and basically handed the keys to Manny Castillo. And that's part of the reason we have any financial flexibility right now whatsoever. And I still think there's a ton of room for him to grow and be an even more useful part of this team. But what we have now is pretty doggone good. He's an excellent center fielder that also plays very effectively. Jake Metzler was fine. Ben Danielson filled in very nicely as a DH. And that may be his future. Maybe even platoon him and Johnson. I haven't decided that part yet. And Steve McKay is going to be an interesting work in progress. And I'm still not sure how he'll turn out. But we're going to give him every opportunity. Because up to this point, our shortstops have frankly been quite disappointing. And maybe he offers something different that'll really help us take our game to the next level. If we look at pitching, Tim Locke had another outstanding season. If nothing else, he's been consistent, and that has given us 4 wins a season. This isn't necessarily I'm a super ace, but it's definitely I am reliable, you can trust me. And that is a very important consideration for a manager or general manager. Someone who goes out there and gives quality innings each and every time he touches the mound. I'm not saying Tim Locke is a future Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying that right now he's the closest thing we have to an ace. Good old Bobby Buenrastro was somebody that we acquired after noticing that they just hadn't let him start for some reason. And I think we've already more than proven that our investment in him was extremely wise. And he's going to be a good one going forward. We did acquire Bobby Madden, and he was fine, if not spectacular. Dan Elliott is just... he's fine, I suppose. I never expected, like, a mega ace, and he is giving me decent innings, and he's not making too many mistakes. But for a guy who's supposed to be an extreme ground ball pitcher, I don't know why his ground ball percentage is only 54%. It should be in the 60s, in my opinion, if he's truly a great ground ball pitcher. And then we have Victor Vega, who has done okay. We basically have a collection of starters, all of whom range from quite good to very acceptable. But we don't really have the Jack Leiter, the elite front of the rotation man who can provide leadership to everyone else. Now, maybe Locke can be that guy. But I kind of don't see him reaching that level of success. Bullpen was relatively healthy. We went ahead and told Udaka goodbye. And we just weren't able to trade him. So, all in all, the season was a good one. We did win 95 games, so we certainly didn't fail. We just didn't acquire what we wanted to acquire. So, what is our biggest concern this offseason? It's gonna be catcher, I think. And this is something I had not anticipated when last we spoke, because I guess I never realized how important or how bad his defense was getting. Like, if you said, Avi, we're going to make you play him one more season in catcher, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd accept it. And I think the rest of his skill set would still play very well. But he's only going to get worse at catcher, and that could have a very large impact on everything else. Now, Chris Schneider got some more time in AAA, but still hasn't had a full season there. But he's kind of maxed out his development. We really have very little reason to believe that he's going to be better than he is right now. So I think next season, this coming season, I think he gets a rotation spot. Possibly over Vega, although I'm not sure. We do have Runge, who is an interesting catcher. And I think he probably deserves to have a shot to be an everyday catcher. Washington is equally fine, if less inspiring. I could try to trade Johnson, but if I'm honest with you, I don't think it would work. I would love to make a big splash in free agency. And for the first time in a long time, we actually have the money to do it. Maybe not a mega splash, but definitely like starting caliber splash. And there are no necessarily ticking time bombs. There is the Castillo situation, the Angel Castillo situation, whatever. But for the most part, people aren't wanting big contracts. I would like to talk to Manny Castillo, actually. I want to see if you will take a long-term contract. That hardly changed his salary demands. Nope. Okay. I was just going to see if we could get him to sign long-term before his value starts shooting up, but it's fine. Very important number that some of you had asked about in the comments last week. This number right here. He will be eligible for the Hall of Fame next season. Next off season. So, what is today? I do have this phone. I have my phone. Why did I say I didn't have my phone? Let me see here. So this video is going to be uploaded on... come on, Google Calendar. Why can I not find you? Because your brain's not functioning, Abby. Oh yeah, that thing. There it is. So this video will be going live on... let's see. I'm recording this on Saturday the 6th. So then this is going to go live on March the 12th. Which would mean we'd have one more full season plus an off season. Assuming he gets elected on the first ballot, what you'll actually usually get 2 OOTP videos that Friday. You'll get the morning video and you'll still get the new version. So you'll just get a double video. Which will be pretty good for y'all, I think. But maybe not. I guess it depends on how much you like OOTP. If for some reason that doesn't work out, then we will go from there. We will go from there. But we'll get it done, friends. We will make sure that he has his fair chance. And look, if it means that I have to play through like 2 or 3 more seasons, then that's what I'll do, and I'll just record them in like a montage or something. But anyway, so that's the good news. Because you're writing 2035, he'll first be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2040, or maybe even this year. No, because you 5 years from the day, 36, 37, 38, 39, yeah, 40 would be when he'll be eligible. Okay. So we need to replace our DH, and we may already have our replacement DH in one Mr. Ben Danielson. We could platoon him with Dave Johnson, and that'll be great. Except for the insane amount of money we're paying Dave Johnson. Which is kind of why I'm inclined to try to trade him and get somebody else who hasn't realized how bad he's getting. And then just go with Washington and Runge as our catchers next season. Would anybody offer me absolutely anything for him? The answer is probably going to be no. No. I'm not going to get a single offer for him, am I? Nope. And that's totally expected. So that means I either have to accept that I'm going to pay him anyway. But to be honest, I'm fine with giving him one more year behind the plate. But maybe starting to let the backup play a little bit more in the field. And that backup's probably going to be Runge. Like, I'm not that impressed by Washington. Like, he's fine, but he's not great. I did not expect that, but that's fine. And you've done the thing again, haven't you? Game, I never want anything other than my scouts. Scouting. But I just think Runge makes more sense as our new super backup. As someone who's going to get out there and be playing, like, probably once every 5 days. And then when Johnson's not playing catcher, he can DH. Or you can just DH against right-handed hitters. We'll figure out something to do with him, but we're definitely going to want to reduce his role in this offense. Mr. Danielson, do you feature a weakness? Oh, you sure do. You do not like left-handed pitching. Alright then. I guess that's what we'll do. What else? Yeah, we're very good. Now, we are going to lose Diaz, but hopefully we'll get Solis back, and he'll be as good as ever. But he is becoming problematic. You still look like an elite level player, and you did get hurt, so I'm probably not going to sell you too short. But yeah, a lot of your power disappeared last season. But that doesn't look like it's going to be an ongoing trend. We'll just have to see what happens. But Vega or Elliott is probably going to get traded. I don't know which of the two, to be honest with you. We'll figure something out. Let us go ahead and advance through award season. Hey, Castaneda got reliever of the year. Very nice. Oh, we already knew last episode that Metzler got a gold glove. Dave Johnson won a silver slugger, as did Angel Castillo, as did Danny Moreno. Oh, very logical. Will Danny Moreno get another MVP? It looks like no. Did he place in the top 3? He was second. How close was it? I must know. Man, Han Berger just hit 53 home runs. I guess that's fine. Oh well. Alright. Let us proceed thusly. And we're going to advance to free agency. Diaz is going to file for free agency. That is extremely reasonable of him. But he's still not one of the 10 best players, which I find pretty shocking, all things considered. How much money do I have to spend? I have $46 million for a one-year free agent, but I have a lot less for extensions. So let's kick the tires on some players. All players, please. You've been an amazing pitcher most of your career. You're not going to cost me a draft pick. And you're still considered durable. Unlike, I almost got tricked by Gabe Milan. I'm like, wait a minute. He's wrecked. You almost got me. Here's the thing. For like a 4-year deal, and if we throw in a couple of team options to help mitigate the risk, he could be exactly the kind of player that we're looking for to get us over the top. I'm going to make this offer, and we're going to see if it works. If it does, we're going to make some trades, obviously. We're probably going to trade Vega or Elliott or both. We're probably going to call up Schneider, and we could have one of the best rotations in the majors again. It's been a while since we could claim that. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. People need to be activated. That's fine. Pinheira, you can go to AAA. And then here's Morales. Hall of Fame voting. Yep, no Jack Leiter. Who here is worthy of my vote? Rafael Devers, I think, is. It's our old pal Luis Garcia. I remember you. I'm not going to vote for you. I don't think you deserve it, but I remember you. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I think, deserves it. Without hesitation, I think. Eloy Jimenez. Ryan McMahon, no. I know he's got a lot of hits, but you have to be... He's a glove first baseman. Although, admittedly, he did play third base a bit. I guess maybe I should consider that. Clearly, Corey Seager. I have no objections whatsoever to that choice. Gary Sanchez is a weird dude. Like, he's got raw power, but that's about it. I don't know if I can mess with that. I think everyone else isn't necessarily at a point where I'm confident about voting for them or not voting for them. Somebody mentioned last time about voting for relievers like Edwin Diaz. Let me be clear. I'm not terribly convinced that any reliever deserves to make the Hall of Fame. Besides Mariana Rivera, I liked Smoltz and Eckersley, but mostly because they were also starters for a long time, and if they had just been relievers, I don't think I would have voted for them either. Let's look at all-time reliever leaderboards and see if I'm being too harsh on him. Because there are relievers in the leaderboards, so therefore we should have the very best of relievers in the leaderboards. Are you kidding me? I can't specify relief pitchers. That is incredibly unhelpful. So look at Edwin Diaz here. Here we go. Average Hall of Fame closer. I just don't think so. I think in order to be a Hall of Famer as a closer, you need to be utterly dominant. And I don't think he qualifies. But yeah, Mariano Rivera, definitely. I mean, I guess since saves exist, we should let Trevor Hoffman into the Hall. But once you broke the floodgates on relievers with guys like Goose Gossage and Bruce Sutter and Raleigh Fingers, all of which were great characters, but not necessarily like the very best pitchers in the league because they weren't starters. You have to judge relievers by the standards of other relievers. You can't judge them by the standards of other players because that's not fair. Relievers just don't work as much as starters do. It's something I'm going to have to come to grips with in my own head, how I want to deal with relievers. I think for now I'm just going to continue not doing it. And then if the AI starts pushing a reliever pretty heavily, I might join in. But I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about relievers in the Hall of Fame. But they exist already. I can't stop that from happening, nor would I wish to. So, let's look at Mariano Rivera. He should still be in the game. 30 wins as a reliever is pretty damn impressive. Over 600 saves. Yeah. I think if any closer is going to make the Hall of Fame, it's a guy like Mariano Rivera that also pitched over 1,000 innings. Whereas a guy like Diaz, he's pretty close to Rivera. I'm trying to talk myself into it. I mean, WPA is where relievers are going to make their mark. It's going to tell you how much they contributed to success. I'm just not going to vote for him right now. You can share your own thoughts about relievers in the comments, and maybe I'll think about it next time voting comes around. But we're going to go with these 5. I'll take Shane Bieber. I'm sorry, I'm a homer. It is what it is. If you want a 2-year deal, I will definitely take that. That's actually better for me. I would actually pay a premium to have you just for a couple of years and then decide if I want to keep you or not. Until I sign him, I can't afford to trade both of my starters. Let's compare Elliott and Vega, and let's decide which of these two would most likely be a handy player to have in the rotation. Pitching ratings. So Elliott definitely throws harder, and is an extreme ground ball pitcher. Vega's got better movement, quite a bit better movement. Especially against righties. On the other hand, the better control goes to Elliott. There's something weird about his stuff. I don't know why it's easier for him to strike out a lefty than a righty. That's not normal for most pitchers, but I'm not going to question it. He's got a good fastball, good splitter, good forkball, so he's definitely very geared to keeping the ball down. Curveball's not bad, changeup is whatever. He's a fastball cutter splitter guy. Oh dear, hilarious, I didn't even notice that. His number 2 comp is Dan Elliott. His number 1 comp is Victor Vega. I guess what I'm saying was a difficult decision, that I'm not far off base. That's pretty funny. I didn't even notice that. So I guess because Elliott is a hair's breadth... here you go. Give me my scout, please. There you go. Yeah, I guess Elliott is a hair's breadth better. So I think Vega is the more expendable of the two. And in case you're wondering, why don't I just waive them? I don't want to lose them. And a team would be awfully stupid to not pick up a pitcher of either pitcher's caliber. So I'm going to trade you. And I am just looking for the best possible prospect I can get out of this. I don't even care about the position. I just want a prospect. I mean, Frederic Plessis is an amazing reliever. And I can always use more relievers. Bobby Anderson is even better and is arguably a borderline starter. But he's also already has a major league contract, so he's not as great a fit for me. Robbie Wold is another outstanding relief pitcher. Let's look at batters, and let's see if there's anybody that moves the needle for me. A 50 plus. Basically. Eric Mullen. Now, you're fascinating to me. And that you're a reasonably good outfielder and a reasonably good pitcher. Any other 50-plussers? We could have Blahoslav Krishka, who's Czech. That's pretty crazy. Good pop, nice plate discipline, maybe. Kevin Lyles is actually a really good outfielder. You're just a really good player. Toby Restuccia is a pretty fair left fielder, but I don't need one of those. You're still pretty damn raw. I think you're a long ways off from the majors, despite your age. I really like the idea of Lyles, actually. Like, you just offer me so much flexibility. You could even be like... You're basically like a long reliever outfielder. And that's an awesome combination. And it lets me fill 2 slots with only 1 player. So yeah, I'm gonna trade for him. I mean, if you think I can get more, I'll try, but I don't think I can. How about Eddie Guzman? Okay, I can get Eddie Guzman. That's never a bad sign. Classy Dave isn't classy enough. Neither is Joe Ramirez. I can't afford to have pitchers that would give up some things here. Eddie Galvan isn't an awful choice as another bat to have off the bench, but meh. Alvin Rodriguez is actually a fairly decent all-around second baseman. I wonder if we can get him too. No. Alright. I think we'll just take this deal. I'm not gonna fight them on this. Yeah, Kevin Law's just infinitely more valuable to me because he could basically fill 2 roster spots. And I think that's exactly what we need on this team. I really do. All right. No. I am totally okay with not Victor Vega, sorry. With my current center field options. Did you randomly reclassify Manny Castillo? No, people just don't recognize him for his abilities, which, you know, more the shame for them. Okay. Rule 5 time. Is there anybody here that we want to take off the roster? Is there first there anybody that we want to add? I guess is the first question. Probably Krieger. Like, of all the pitchers on my roster, he's the only one here that looks to me as being someone worth keeping. Let's go ahead and waive Delgado. Anyone else here I can waive and just get off the roster? Alvarado, you... The roles you can fill are just not worthwhile, not when I have other players who just do it better. Kim, you're versatile. You're very versatile. But I need to free up more spots. Let's wait, actually. Like, honestly, like, Jeff Phipps, I'm probably not going to keep you anyway. So we'll see what happens. You can have him, Tampa. I don't know why so many people love Bobby Alvarado. Friend, I'm going to keep pushing this. I'm not going to let this go, especially if you only want a 2-year deal. When will you get it through your thick heads that I'm perfectly satisfied with the center fielder I have? Oh, excuse me. I have a 40-man spot left. The fans aren't too upset about losing Jordan Diaz. I'm actually impressed by that. Holy shit. Oh, man. Oh, this hurts. You sign with one of my biggest rivals, and you do it for pennies on the dollar. Oh, man. Yikes. Yeah, you know what? That's on me. I never even thought that he'd want to come back for so little money. Way to go, me. You know what? I'm actually... If I hadn't gotten Castillo, I probably would have put Jody Starr on the 40-man. Like, he's pretty much... he's a very good starting caliber third baseman, and I just didn't think about keeping him, so... That's on me. I'm really not seeing anything here that I'm eager to grab. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and skip the rest of the Rule 5. I screwed up on Star. I really screwed up on noticing that he was even available. Shame on me. Oh well. But we got Sam Cooper. And I think that is amazing. Now, Bobby Madden had a good year for us, but he also looked like he was semi-vulnerable. I might send him to AAA to start the season, and then we can have Chris Schneider on the in the rotation too. I mean, I don't really care because Luis Morales isn't going to make the roster, I don't think. But cool story, bro. Man, I can't... That really bugs me about Diaz, and it's entirely my own fault. It's entirely my own fault for not talking to him again. Ah, well. Seager, Jimenez, and Ramirez all made it. I have no objections to any of those names. Great. You know what? This was a really short off-season. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do the whole season. Let's plow through onto the next off-season, and that just increases our chances of seeing Jack Leiter in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't really care, but good for him, I suppose. Yeah, we're just going to go right through the season. I see no reason why we can't. And just make this video a little bit longer. Alright, anyone I want to invite to spring training that isn't here already. You know what, Gould? You can have an invite. Guzman, you can be invited. The rest of you, I don't really care about. Bench coach, do your thing. Oh, did I never hire a new bench coach? I forgot. You get along really well with pitchers, but nobody else. I might just hire a new bench coach, to be honest with you. You're going to have a hard time developing people, but at least you get along with players. You're bad at both of them. You know what? I really don't care. Especially if I'm only going to be playing a couple more seasons. Let's just promote Kevin Cash. Promote Hernandez to manager at AAA Norfolk. And then we'll go ahead and bring in this guy. No, we'll take Juan Franquia. I like the idea of having a player like that. Okay. This is fine. I don't like seeing Steve McKay get worse at shortstop, but at least he's hitting for even more power. No big changes there. I mean, I guess I shouldn't, like, sleep on a guy like Jonathan Arcega. Like, he's got the potential to be an elite level hitter. He's just not a very good fielder. So he's maybe got DH in his future. Man, I still am kicking myself about freaking Diaz. It just never occurred to me that he would take less money than he did. Damn. I shouldn't dwell. We did get a really great pitcher, with the caveat that he was injured for most of last season, and that means there's always a chance he could get injured again. So you take the good with the bad, right? Alright, easy decisions. Mr. Pinheiro. Oh, you're actually going to be back in 3 days, so there's actually a good reason to keep you there. I do not need 23 pitchers. In fact, I probably need 13, so I can get rid of 10 pitchers. Carter, Krieger, Forsyth. I'm going to go ahead and get you off the 40-man. Kessler. Morales. I still have 5 too many pitchers. Oh my gosh, what am I meant to do with that? Well, I guess the 55s all get sent down besides Lyles because of his ability to fill 2 slots. I have Milner, so I've got a lefty. Um, let's try to trade Moreno. I screwed up. I didn't actually care about hitters. You know what? This is fine. Done. I still need to find 2 more pitchers. Get them down into the minors. Phipps I really don't know about, but I don't want to lose him because he has been a plus, a helpful pitcher for us. Pitcher. I don't know what the heck's wrong with me. Campos. You know what? Because of what's his face, I can actually carry 1 fewer outfielder. So that's fine. We can adjust accordingly. I don't need 4 catchers. But I'm not going to carry 3 either. Washington had a really good year in his rookie year. This is a very solid performance. Gould, you can start in AAA. I guess we're going back to the minors, Runge. I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be that way. Just is. Five more position players. O'Connor plays first and third, so he gets to stay. Mutzler and Castillo were starters. Batchelder to the minors. Velez can stay. Danielson is the lefty DH. Amaya is an amazing outfielder, so I'd like to keep him on the roster. Gonzalez. Kim. I still got to get rid of 2 more players. Yeah, your 2-way is shit, bro. Chris Schneider's not a bad hitter, but I don't want him being a 2-way player. Again, he's a starting pitcher. Starting pitchers shouldn't be 2-way players, in my opinion. Unless they're an amazing hitter, like a, what's-his-face? Guy who plays for LA. Shohei Ohtani. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. So I've actually got plenty of outfielders. Corb, I feel like we've got to give Corb a proper shot to be the platoon partner of Yeager. Because Yeager just can't hit lefties. Hell, maybe Corb's just the everyday right fielder. That way I'm not clogging up a roster spot with a limited player. I mean, Yeager is an amazing right fielder, but he is limited. He's very limited. How do I get down to 26? I probably need to get rid of another pitcher. Wait, Burgos is a lefty? No, he's not. Yeah, Milliner gets to stay. I can't kick him off. Phipps is a lefty. Okay then, Milner, you just got... You're out of a job now. Boom. And then I just gotta find one more position player. It's gonna be an outfielder. I want to give Corb a chance to take the role as the everyday right fielder. And I know he's not a great one, but he's got a really potent bat. I at least want to give him a chance to see if he can hit in the majors. And if he can't, that's incredibly important information that we can then use later on. Amaya. Oh, Amaya plays first base too, that's right. I don't need 6 outfielders. I really don't. So I keep coming back to sending down Yeager. But the thing is, I don't think he has anything to really show me in the minors. I mean, he never did play in AAA. But the dude's been relatively productive. What could I give for him, I wonder? I mean, I could get a Stephen Keenbaum, but that's not what I'm looking for, but I appreciate it. I'm getting some really good offers, though. Like, this is not what I expected when I decided it was time to trade him. Oh, Larry Harding could be special. I do like you a lot. I like you a lot. I really like Harding. But I have to face the facts that I have Castillo now, and that I'm not likely to get rid of him unless he fails pretty spectacularly. So let's just focus on batters, because I can always use more position players. And we're pretty deep at starter right now. We're extremely deep at starter right now. How good is Chris Rice? Rice is a decent hitter. That's got some intrigue to me. Nieves is a good all-around hitter. He's maybe not the best second baseman, but he's very solid. I wonder if I could get Nieves and Moreno. Can I get you to throw in Rice? He'll think about it. For 3 top prospects at 3 critical positions, I would pull this. I will pull this trigger. I'm just gonna sim ahead 1 day, 2 days. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Let's do it. It's getting 3 very good prospects for 1 reasonably accomplished starter at a position that I've got a lot of extras at. All right, anyone need to be put on the 40-man? No. Great. Let's go to opening day and let's get our team set up. What am I doing for minor league system now? Oh, we're 9th. Okay. I think that sounds great. Wow, you return Jody Starr? I will happily take him back. All right, let us set up our team in the way we would like it set up. So let's nuke this stuff. All right, Sam Cooper, ace. Tim Locke, number 2. Then things get interesting. Like, purely by overall talent, Schneider should be the number 3. But I think it's going to be Buenrastro, because he had such a good season, and then Schneider will fill in as the number 4 starter. And then Elliott, you're going to be the 5th starter. And then let's get our relievers set up. Jeff Phipps, you're going to be my specialist, but you're also going to be a regular middle reliever. Closer might as well be Castaneda. I have no reason not to use him. Setup is going to be Pinera, I think. And Madden. No, Madden has other duties. I have a lot of failed starters in my bullpen. Like, a lot of them. Which is not at all unusual, of course. That's pretty typical. Middle relief. Setup. I'm going to let you be 8th plus, and you're going to be 7th. Cullen, you're going to be a regular middle reliever. Kevin Lyles, I'm going to make you a long reliever, but only a long reliever. Lee, you're going to be emergency starter, long reliever. And who's got better stuff? And then Madden, you're going to be a middle reliever, a long reliever. Very nice. All right. That's the pitching staff set up. Let's switch over now to the lineup. And clear the lineups, please. Best hitter on the team, obviously Danny Moreno. Cleanup hitter, obviously Bob Solis. Notice his power's actually dipped. No, it hasn't. It's 65. Oh, it was 70 last year, wasn't it? He did lose a little bit of power. That's not a great look for you, bro. But whatever. Alright. Now, who is my leadoff guy? I know Castillo is a super tempting leadoff guy, but I'm really concerned by his lack of ability to hit for a good batting eye, but maybe he is just the best choice. But he has a little bit too much power. I think it'd be kind of a waste to have him be the leadoff guy. I like Castillo as the number 2 instead. Leadoff. Danielson's got too much pop. I think Dave Johnson is the guy. Is going to be my leadoff hitter. Then Danielson hits 5th. You are designated hitter. Castillo hits 6th and plays center. No, let's do Corb hitting 6th. He's got more power. That makes him a better fit a little bit deeper in the lineup. Castillo, and then McKay, and I'm actually going to put McKay 9th and Messler 8th. All right. Generating my depth chart. Amaya is a much better center fielder, but he's not as good a hitter. Not remotely as good. Yeah, we're going to keep Castillo there. I don't mind him getting a start every 7 days, though. And I actually like the idea of Washington starting every 3rd game, because Johnson's going to be the DH against lefties, and so Washington's going to start there. So let's actually reduce this, because he will be starting every game against a righty. Or lefty, rather. All right. Give me this same lineup, if you please. All right, here Dave Johnson becomes the catcher, or the DH. Who is the best hitter that doesn't have a regular gig? That is also right-handed. Is it Lyles? Yeah, I think it's actually Kevin Lyles. So Lyles... Oh, no, I need a catcher. I don't need an outfielder. And then we get Washington starting at catcher. I mean, I guess I could just bench. I guess I could just make Johnson be the everyday catcher. But we'll see how this works. Again, every 7 games is fine. Yeah, that's good. I like it. All right. Let's get started. Ben Danielson's getting to be a better defensive left fielder. I don't know how, but he is. That's all fine. I mean, that's just going to cost you playing time, Manny. You need to settle your shit. Well, that's not a great start for a young pitcher. Having elbow inflammation in your very first opportunity. Right. Let's call up Campos. And I'm going to turn around and hand Madden the roster spot. The rotation spot. Because he's earned it, right? And then you're going to be long relief emergency starter. How can you have elbow inflammation when you've barely even pitched the last few seasons? Disappointing. Okay, seriously, game, fucking stop. Don't even do this to me. Because I don't have another ready-baked starter. I have Guzman, who's at least a good traditional reliever. Let's bring him in. And then I guess we're going to slide in Jeff Lee as the starter. Someone's got to do it, right? And then we'll see what happens, I suppose. What is the game never pause to tell me that I'm doing a great job? That would be nice. Jeff Lee would like an extension. I'm not convinced that I don't want him to be an extension. Oh dear, Johnson's decline is coming fast and furious now. Yeah, look at fucking Billy Corb. We turn him loose and he turns in this kind of season. I didn't see that coming. Right. You're killing me, Johnson. You would be ridiculously overpaid as a full-time DH. Your rapid decline is unappreciated, Dave Johnson. God damn it, Jeff Lee. Why did you get into a trap with Victor Salinas? What the fuck, dude? Quit getting suspended. What is your damn problem, Jeff Lee? Are you just a dick? Like, I ain't bringing your ass back if you're just going to keep starting fights at every opportunity. That's no bueno, my dude. Alright, we can get Schneider back. That's amazing. I kind of like the idea of letting Eddie Guzman go back to AAA, so we'll do that. Emergency starter, long reliever. Oh, we got Sam Cooper back. What lovely news. Campos to the minors. And then we do Madden to the pen. And then you're going to be emergency starter or long reliever. And you, dude, you're just getting dropped to middle relief, long relief, and you're going to be avoid high leverage. Interesting. Angel Castillo is hitting for less contact. Jody Starr is hitting for more? Interesting. Everybody's hitting but McKay. It's actually the rotation that's been struggling a bit. How much of that is Dave Johnson being a lousy catcher, though? Do I make Johnson the everyday DH, send down Danielson, and then call up someone else? I mean, we're in first place right now. I don't want to disrupt a good thing if it is indeed a good thing, but I am... I do not need a mediocre starter. How can you have a dead arm, bro? You've barely pitched this week. Alright, let's take a quick pause. I saw somebody had a thing. Alright. Let me talk about... I'm actually getting comments on last week's video, which is why I paused, because Forever Remain 93 brought up a great point about arm slot. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I know we haven't covered it in a while. Arm slot is the arm at that their throwing arm goes at when they throw the ball. And it can have a pretty significant effect on how pitchers work. For instance, if we look at Bobby Buenrastro, he's an over-the-top arm slot. And what that means is that as he brings his right arm forward, his right arm is going to be more or less parallel to his head. That's what I mean by over-the-top. These kinds of pitchers tend to have really good curveballs, although not in this case. Sandy Koufax was 3/4. Most pitchers are. But over the top is one of the more common arm slots. And again, you come up over the top. Almost think of like a World War I movie where you see them climb out of the trench and then run across. That's kind of what I want you to think about. Their right arm is going over the top of that trench and storming the batter, I guess. So that's one arm slot. Sam Cooper has the 3/4. So I want you to picture in your head the pitcher's arm is a clock. If it's straight up, that's a 12 o'clock, right? 3/4 is more like 2 to 3 o'clock. No, sorry, that's not quite correct. It's more between like... God, I'm trying to picture a clock in my head. What's wrong with me? It's more like between 1 and 2 o'clock. So it's not straight up. It's considered 3/4, so it's not quite parallel. It's off a little bit. This is by far the most common arm slot, and it's the one that most pitchers pitch with. Dan Elliott's over the top. Tim Locke is 3/4. Over the top. 3/4. 3/4. 3/4. 3/4. Over the top. Come on, I've got to have at least one side armor somewhere in the organization. Nope. Yeah, it's mostly... Here we go. A side armor. So let's think about that clock again. If you're over the top, you're throwing at 12 o'clock. Your arm is being the hour hand on the 12 o'clock. 3/4 is between usually 1 and 2 o'clock. A side armor is 3 to maybe even 4 o'clock. Like, it's almost perpendicular with your body. It's actually much more common among lefties. And sidearm works really well for relievers, but not for starters. Because the more you see a sidearm delivery, the more you get used to it. And they tend not to have the raw stuff that most over-the-top pitchers do. Because human arms just don't work that way. It's more difficult to generate as much power, and therefore as much velocity, if you're a side armor. This guy's a weird exception, and there's definitely pitchers like that. But this is one of the other arm slots. The last one is Submariner, or Submariner, depending on how you pronounce that word. I would be shocked if we had any, but if we're thinking about our clock again, these are people that are borderline 6 o'clock with their arm angle. They're almost the exact opposite of over the top, but without being fully underhand. So, more like the 5 o'clock, or like late 4 o'clock. And those tend to be very light throwers, because you can't throw overhand as hard as you can, or you can't throw underhand as hard as you can throw overhand. And Submariners are almost underhand. They're not quite, but they're almost underhand. And they tend to be very deceptive, and they have to have that deception if they're going to be successful. So what Forever Remain commented is he suggested that taking a starter with a sidearm or sidearm arm slot is less productive because it can affect their movement, and he's absolutely right about that. The lower your arm angle, the more your pitch tends to break from side to side rather than up and down. And while side-to-side movement is great for getting strikeouts, it's not so great for preventing home runs. Because basically what you want to do is you want the pitch to look like it's going to be big, fat, and juicy down the middle, and then drop at the last minute. Because then what happens is the hitter either pounds the ball into the ground, because the bat goes over the top of the baseball, or they just don't hit it on the fat part of the bat, and it becomes like a lazy fly ball if they do change their swing. That's what you want. You want up and down movement, especially for things like fastballs and curveballs and splitters, fork balls, palm balls, which I don't think are actually in OTP, which is fine because palm balls aren't that frequent. Change-ups, these are all things you want up and down movement for. Lateral movement is really good for things like sliders and cutters, though. But again, they're designed to make them chase. They're not necessarily designed to make them hit worse. Except for cutters. Mariana Rivera, we were talking about him earlier, had one of the best cutters the Major League Baseball's ever seen. And a cut fastball is very neutral because it has very sharp, very lateral movement. Generally, you want vertical movement up and down. This is sharp horizontal movement. And it's a deadly pitch against opposite side batters. So Mariana Rivera facing Jim Thome. That cutter is going to bear in on Jim Thome's hands. He's not going to be able to extend. He's not going to be able to hit for power. And you see a lot of cutter pitchers breaking a lot of bats because instead of hitting it on the fat part of the bat, they're hitting it closer to the handle, which could quite literally saw a bat in half. So cutters are this weird exception, and a really good cutter can be an amazing pitch. And it's basically all Mariana Rivera threw, which made him a horrible starter, but one of the best relievers that... No, that's a lie. The best reliever that Major League Baseball's ever seen. Let's give him his props. He may be a dirty New York Yankee, but, you know, he can't help the team that chose him. But all that is to say, basically, it's something I hadn't been considering in my game, but I want to thank Forever Remain for an interesting thought that I guess was always in the back of my mind, but I never really considered it. But the draft is a crapshoot anyway. It really is. But it is draft time. We do have a bonus second round pick because of losing Diaz. Very nice. Start. And as always, we're going to start at default. We're going to drool over players that we can never have because they won't be there anymore. Look at Steve Wood, man. What a guy. A little bit low on velocity, but for a 17-year-old to have this much command and such good movement is, that would be spicy. So, we are now picking, and there's only one batter that's anywhere near the top, which is Jamie Ambrosini. Now, Ambrosini is a very good hitter. Hey, the Woodlands, that's just up the highway from me. Not just up the highway, it's like an hour drive, but he's a very good potential hitter. And he's got the raw defensive tools that he could definitely become a good second baseman, third baseman, or shortstop. I really like him. His play discipline is a little bit disconcerting, but as long as he's not striking out, and as long as he's hitting consistently for high average and power, this is an excellent long-term player. The other option would be taking another starter like a Sergio Zambrano, but this guy would be a nightmare. Here's a cutter. Yeah, I can't take a pitcher like this. He'd get eaten alive in the majors. And none of his pitches are big up and down movement besides his changeup, which means he's not going to be a ground ball pitcher. There's a real good chance that unless his cutter breaks perfectly, he's going to get hit. He's going to get hit hard. If he falls to the second round, I would consider it, but no, I think I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm gonna take Ambrosini. He's too good a hitter at too good a premium position. And he's super young, so he could basically become anything. I like it. Josh Mulhair. He is fragile. He is injury prone. And he does have fairly low stamina. But he's got a few things in his favor. First of all, he's a lefty. Second of all, he's got a power curveball, which is going to, again, generate that lovely vertical movement that you really want to generate ground balls. Or swinging strikes. Either one of those is good. And his strikeout rates in high school have been actually quite good. I really like him as a possibility. And he's huge, too, right? He's 6'6", and he's already throwing 95. He could easily end up throwing 100 miles an hour. I like that. Let's acquire him. Now, reliever. Pitched for Texas, a pretty good school. Very good. Are you a housefly? You are a housefly. I haven't seen one of you in a while. Maybe you're a housefly. I don't know. A very nice fastball slider combination. Throws super hard. Control isn't great, but he's again meant to be a reliever. Let's do it. Let's take TJ Malone. Auto draft. Now, Jonathan Young is a good overall hitter, and I like that about him. What I don't like is his gift suggests he's not going to be an infielder. He's got a really bad arm. But he's such a good hitter. I'm going to draft him. We're also saving a lot of money, which isn't something I normally care about in the draft, but it's not unimportant. Sam Beeler, very meh. Yeah, you're not a starter. You're a reliever that happens to have a third pitch. Danny Dominguez has raw power, but not much else. That's got value. I will happily take that with a 4th round pick. Good athleticism, not a great hitter. I don't think I'd be interested in him. Let's take a look at batting potential and see if there's anyone who's got really great contact potential. A catcher with an elite contact profile? That is extremely rare. Give me some of that, bro. Eric Leblanc here is a really solid all-around hitter. Maybe a little bit lacking in power, but that's fine. Let's take him. This is apparently the draft where I restock my position players. I'm just not convinced he's ever going to be a good player. I'm sorry, game. I'm just not convinced. Like, OSA thinks he's a little bit more athletic, which, you know, is great, but I just don't think so. Good pop, good plate discipline. I could use more contact, but he'll be an easy sign, so we'll take Hector Blanco. Yeah, I'll take him, I suppose. Positional flexibility is great, but not if that's your only calling card. Like, to be honest, these are garbage numbers for a high school hitter. Or college hitter. These are bad numbers. He's shown a decent bit of plate discipline, but yeah, this is not a great player. He's unlikely to be successful in the majors. I like you. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and let my scout finish this draft. I'm more than pleased to let him do his thing. Negotiate. Joshy boy here wants $2 million. I can handle that. I'm happy to pay $3 million for a bat that's this advanced. Even if he ends up just being a DH. And I'll happily go ahead and sign both of these guys. Alright. The draft is concluded. Let's go up to the All-Star game. Man, Schneider, my bro, you're an issue. You're a very big issue to me. And eventually these repeated injuries are going to build up and up and up and up and up and up. And eventually, he's just going to flame out. He's never going to be what he could be. 300 homers for Danny Moreno. Very nice. All-Star Game roster. No Baltimore pitchers beyond Castaneda. The dude's got 24 saves and an ERA under 1. I'm good with that. Dave Johnson is an all-star. Angel Castillo is. Danny Moreno is. And that's it. That's reasonable, but it does make me a little nervous about what's going on here. Hector Gonzalez, Jake Gould, Chris Rice all made the All-Star team for them. Solis is definitely hitting for power. He's definitely recovered a little bit to that end, but he's not hitting for his high and average. Curious. But also, mad fucking props to Billy Korb. If you anticipated him being this damn good, raise your hand, because I sure didn't. I sure did not see Billy Korb being an everyday right fielder with this much of a bat, really. Good times. Less good times. But whatever. I mean, is it really a season if Andy Collins' arm doesn't fall off? Yeah, you're fragile, my guy. I'm surprised you're not actually wrecked at this point. I do need a new reliever, though. Carter, you're 26. I can't just keep burying you in the minors because I don't like your lack of control. Don't force it. I just didn't want him to be a starter. I'm going to go ahead and call up Carter, and we're going to see how he does in the majors. I think he's at least earned an opportunity at it. It seems like defense is an issue. That's not what I want with fielding stats. Really? Castillo's not a good center fielder? Johnson is merely fine. He's not good or great. Lyles is a reliever, so I don't care if his defense is great or not. I was not prepared for you not being a very good center fielder. And because Amaya is amazing, you're making it real hard for me to keep starting you, Castillo. You know what? If I can have elite defense and a hitter who's almost as... But Castillo's been such a good hitter, though. Like, he's really provided a lot of spark. He's going to be an even better hitter. He doesn't have to be a brilliant center fielder. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why. I mean, the defensive zone rating is 3rd in the majors. I don't know why you guys are getting lit up this season. You just are. I mean, it does happen, right? But that's still kind of frustrating. I know when we want to re-sign. Andy Cohen, you keep getting hurt, bro. You just keep getting hurt. I would bring you back if you wanted $2 million or less, but not for 4. Friends, I really like Andy not Andy, Angel Castillo. I really do. But to want so much bloody money at such a young age is, I would say I don't know how I feel about that, but I know exactly how I feel about that. And how I feel about that is not great. Can I get a long-term deal with you, Castaneda? No, he wants his big salary. The difference is, of course, that Castaneda's been worth it pretty consistently, whereas most of our other closers haven't been. You're an issue, Castillo. Especially when I have a player like Jody Starr, who could be a very solid third baseman in his own right. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. I'm not too concerned about it at this second. Remember, minor league coaches can never leave. Nathan Spoena, you've done okay. You want to get hired as a GM somewhere in your own right. That's understood. You've never not hit, so Andrew Romine, you can come back. And I really like our scouting director. He's done a great job of finding great players, so there you go. It is a shame that we'll lose Spoena, but he's been an assistant GM now for over 10 years. He probably wants a chance to run his own ship. I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him at all. The McKay experiment is quickly becoming a failure, if I'm honest with you. Some good talent down here in the lower minors. Yeah. I'm afraid to say anything about what I just saw, but you saw it. International free agents. What do we got here? I actually quite like you. I think you'd be an excellent signing. You're a very good all-around hitter that has a chance to stick at catcher. I'll even give you the $5 million guarantee. I'm not saying I couldn't upgrade in the rotation, or I'm saying he wouldn't be an upgrade, but what I am saying is that I don't know who I'd even send down. Schneider again? Like, it's not as though Schneider's been amazing when he has pitched. He just keeps getting hurt. Maybe I just need to let him pitch in the minors. Let's make a trade for a veteran starter and see if that gets us where we need to get. I'm not giving you Moreno or Velez. You are such a damn good hitter. I don't want to trade you. I could give up a player like a Bubba Krieger. What if I offered you Dave Johnson? He was an all-star. Yeah, that totally changes it. You know what? That's fine. I'm not gonna... No, I will let Schneider pitch in the majors. Fuck it. I don't have anything to lose at this point. He needs major league reps. Or AAA reps. But unless I have a ready replacement for him, like Bobby Madden... Bobby Madden's been really good. And it's kind of a shame that he hasn't gotten a chance to prove he can start, just because arbitrarily I gave it to Schneider. But the thing is, I can't judge him too harshly. It's 27 innings. That's, it's 8 starts, most of which haven't gone past 4 innings. So I really don't know anything about Chris Schneider yet. I need to give him more time. Now the question is, does that time come in the majors or does it come in the minors? And I think it probably comes in the minors. I think he needs more reps at AAA. He needs more confidence. I don't want him to be ruined. But he's definitely getting to the point where I might consider him a lost cause. Because he just gets hit too damn hard. I mean, this fucker gets lit up. And maybe it's because his best pitch is a changeup, which is always a difficult pitch for young pitchers to master. But I don't know, bro. Let's call up Guzman. Madden, you're taking the spot in the rotation. Guzman, you're taking the spot in the bullpen. I do need an emergency starter, though, and I don't know who that's going to be, but we'll figure it out later on. Felix Guerra. No. I really want Dave Johnson gone. But he's been so good at the top of the lineup. He's the engine making this entire thing work. I can't give that away. Not without getting something very good in return. I can shop him at least, I suppose. All players. Nobody. What if I did quarter of his salary? I'm mostly getting offers that are just as bad. It's not worth it to me. I'll just keep him. What if I just say 5% of his salary? But I get to take someone who's arguably even worse. No thanks, bro. We'll be fine. Oh, fucking Yankees. I don't need relievers. A fly ball triple play, that's pretty zany. No, I don't need a bad right fielder. I mean, you're good defensively, I guess. But it's not like Jimmy Collins is bad. I just don't have a spot for him right now. Look who's finally starting to show his actual abilities. That's encouraging. Would veteran leadership at shortstop help? I just don't know. Like, is McKay that bad? McKay is pretty bad. Like, he's below replacement level. So fuck it. Maybe this is what we need. And I'm not giving up much. I'm giving up an incredibly raw prospect that may never work out. Yeah, let's pull the trigger, and I'm going to go ahead and demote McKay. And then you're just going to go a boop and a boop. I really have a lot of average to above average starters, don't I? You're just hanging out in the minors. Is there anybody I would like to acquire or trade? My enthusiasm for Billy Corb is rapidly declining because he's proving just to be another right fielder who can't hit for contact. Barcelona's game is pretty good, though. Ben Danielson has done fine, I guess. He's maybe not the elite force in the middle of the lineup that I would prefer, but he's fine. I really can't think of anyone that we could trade for to measurably improve our team. Because let's face it, the starters are mostly pitching as well as they did last season. They're just having a little bit less luck. And if bad luck is the reason why you're suffering, then there's not much I can do to stop that. I can't force you to be lucky. Like a really good starting pitcher, maybe. But I don't know that any of those are even on the market. Which is the issue. I just don't know if that pitcher exists. And if that pitcher doesn't exist, then there's really nothing I can do to improve our chances of making the World Series. I do like a pitcher who throws two different curveballs, though. That's pretty spicy. But yeah, I just don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this unless we just take pitchers that are underperforming and replace them with starters who are almost as good. Maybe. Call up Jake Gould? Like, Johnson is great, but Washington's ability to be a backup is a little bit not great. And he's actually playing fairly frequently. So let's do that, actually. Let's send on Washington, call up Gould. And then Gould, you're going to start once a week. And you're going to start every time that there's a lefty on the mound. Which is really going to be good for you since you are a right-handed hitter. But yeah, I think you're too good to be kept in the minors. Let's give you a chance and see what you can accomplish. That'll be a nice little boost. How are you hitting, Kevin Lyles? You're hitting fine. You're maybe not elite, but you're hitting fine. You're not really doing great at either of your jobs, are you? Let me make you an avoid high leverage. And then I think as soon as we get to rosters expanding in August, I think we call up Schneider again. And Schneider is going to be a long reliever, emergency starter. Because I don't really have a clear backup starter here. You know what, Phipps? If you can't even stop lefties, you're utterly worthless to me. Opponent batting stats. Here you go. Yeah, bro, you're done, Phipps. You no longer serve a purpose except to suck. I will trade you. And I want prospects, and I just want the best prospect I can get for this pitcher that sucks. You know what, Arujo? I will take you, and we'll see how you turn out. And then I'm going to go ahead and call Schneider back up, and we're going to make Schneider the emergency starter long reliever. And see how that works out for us. This means you don't have an anti-lefty specialist, though, but I'm okay with that. I guess Eddie Guzman's getting lit up. We could maybe let him go back to the minors and figure out what he's doing. I guess Milner. Let's bring him back. He was always a pretty good dude. There you go, specialist. Yeah, this slider is going to be nasty for a lefty to hit. Or, yeah, a lefty to hit. Because it's going to break really hard. And they're going to be like, oh, it's over the plate. And I missed it. I think that's going to work out quite well for us. All right. Let's advance to the next day. I think maybe just taking some of the pressure off of Schneider by letting him pitch easier innings may help him develop a bit more. It's also, you know, very possible that he's just not very good. And that he'll never be very good. And that I just need to accept that and move on from him. Whatever. Ooh, Victor Dorado is adding some heat to his fastball. Alright, dude, you are 18 years old. This is good enough for me to go ahead and promote you to rookie ball. Off you go. Let's let you get proper experience. Andy Neal? I remember you. Hoisted on my own petard, SMH. He's actually turned out to be a reasonably competent starter, which I didn't think was his future. Maybe we just need to get out of Baltimore. I've kind of got a feeling that that's actually true for a lot of the players that we've had issues with. Especially pitchers. I'm going to suspend Amaya for 5 days. Felix would like to come back. I don't know if I even want you back. We'll figure it out. In the off season. That's okay, I guess. Really, Batchelder? No. Illegal. I could have let Velez play second, but to be honest with you, he's more just of a utility guy. So I'm going to set you to second. And I'm going to go ahead and let you be the starter for while What's-His-Face is hurt. Here we go. Good. Good. I like players who know their place. No big changes here. Johnson being hurt would be a little easier to recover from. Wasn't also our leadoff hitter. I'm gonna call up Runge. Obviously Gould is not my everyday starting catcher. He's not my leadoff hitter, but he is my everyday starting catcher. Who's gonna be my DH against righties? What the what? Oh, you're showing me career stats. That's not helpful. Batting stats. Here we go. Fuck, maybe I do make Jake Gould my leadoff hitter. I need a right-handed hitter to pair with what's-his-face. You know what, Bino? You're a pretty good hitter. Oh, don't you fucking dare. Game. You know what? Let's just let Lyles be the DH. It's not the worst thing in the world to let him just play the outfield every now and again. Alright. Game. What did you do to Castaneda? Is there a particular reason, game, that you enjoy doing this to me, enjoy torturing me? Alright, well I definitely need more relievers, so that's going to be Guzman and Kalna. And Kessler? Yeah, let's just get all of the relievers that we can. Pinheira, you're now closer. Burgos, you're set up. Middle relief, long relief, middle relief. And what I really hate is that he's gone for the season, which means, assuming I make the playoffs, which seems like a fair assumption, I don't have my closer anymore. And I just clinched a playoff spot, so. And I just clinched the division. Is that Nate Gould? No, it's Jake Gould. I don't know who this... Oh, it's my Gould. Okay. That is my player. Danny fucking Moreno. Slash stat triple crown. Yes, he didn't win a traditional triple crown because someone had more RBI than he had. I don't even give a shit. Okay, how good is 11.4 WAR? Historically. I must know. Because I think it's damn good. is the 21st best season in Major League history. And he has the highest average in the 21st century. So the last time a hitter had an average higher than Danny Moreno's, where is Danny Moreno actually? Here he is. Rod Carew. Yeah, Rod Carew. It's been over 60 years, maybe even over 70, since anyone's hit as well as Moreno. What a guy. Like, let me put to you this way. We had a good season, especially with the bat. But this was Danny Moreno saying, I am the best fucking player in Major League history at this point, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. I am in awe of his raw abilities. I am in utter awe. Like, he's making $40 million a bargain. In fact, I'm very curious to see this here. Yeah, because of everyone making the minimum. But he's still ridiculously valuable. Angel Castillo is really proving to be an important piece of this offense, and I'm glad we acquired him. Bob Solis had a very nice little bounce back year. He screwed his teammate out of the Triple Crown, but I guess I can't be too mad with anybody that hits 50 homers. Manny Castillo, and then it kind of dips off from there. We had a lot of great role players that filled certain holes and did them well. But this was not the top to bottom brilliant lineup it's been in the past. Part of that is Dave Johnson, though. Let us not at all forget how good Dave Johnson was this season. Oh, he actually can come back. Brilliant. Mr. Runge, you are gone. Like, I love Gould. I truly do. But Johnson has to be the starter because he was just that good this season. He made the rest of the lineup work. But this does mean, however, that I can let Johnson be the DH against righties again. And I'm going to bump you there. I'm going to put you there. Now, pitching-wise, we got a lot of good performances, but not very many great performances. Bobby Madden stepped in to be a reliable hand. Buenrastro is fine. Elliott and Locke are both fine. None of them really fill you with confidence that they're the best starters available, but none of them are terrible either. Wait, are you fucking kidding me that you decided to leave Sam Cooper off? Game, stop. You are utterly stupid if you think I would take Sam Cooper, the best starter by far on this team, and not let him be on the postseason roster. That's just dumb. That is super dumb. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I think we are good to go. So I think that means I actually face the Yankees in the division series. Because I had the best American League record. No, I would actually face... Yeah, I would face the worst team. No you don't. Sam Cooper starts. Why would anyone but Sam Cooper start? He's my best starter. Don't be silly, game. There we go. That's our first start. A second victory. And a sweep to get us back to the ALCS. Very nice. See what a difference a season can make when you're not basically trapped by having to win the wild card game. And we're just waiting to see if the Tigers or the Astros come out on top. Ah, the Astros. They made it. They have a lot of my former players. Like, here's Victor Salinas. I still think I got rid of him at the right time, though. Without question. I think I got rid of him at the right time. Where is Diaz? Is he hurt? Why did I just... Here he is. You sent him to AAA. Wow. Oh, it did take us 11 innings. That's not ideal. And then they just light up fucking Locke. Oh, there's a nice little bounce back. Ooh, Moreno hit for the cycle because of course he did. However, I think we're just going to get beat. I really do. Like, we're just not hitting. Yeah. That was some pretty serious bullshit, I'm going to tell you. That once again, my team just doesn't hit in the playoffs. Look at fucking Bob Solis. This is not okay, Bob. You cannot be this bad in the playoffs. Oh well. 103 games, we don't even make the World Series. I am very irritated by that. Let's start a charity for Angel Castillo. How did you tear your rotator cuff when you didn't even play? Oh, I guess you did play. Okay, that's fair. And you just got raffle stomped by the Giants. Come on, Houston. You should have just surrendered and let me have it. That was this. You know, I can't really call this a disappointing season because it's not. We accomplished an awful lot, and we did quite well. I do need a new assistant GM. This is known. Let's find one. Again, dev preference is what matters to me more than anything else. Keaton Aldridge, welcome to the Baltimore Orioles. And that's going to do it for this episode. We have a lot of tough decisions to make this offseason. This is not one of them. Are you fucking joking, Metzler? Are you fucking high? You've had one good season. You got hurt. You've had yes, you have 2 gold gloves. Congratulations, but still, I am not paying you $10 million. We'll deal with this next episode because this episode's already run a little bit longer. But that'll be it for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Next episode, we're gonna find out if Jack Leiter makes Hall of Fame in his first go round. I hope he does. But until then, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.